Welcome back to the Y.E.S Fitness Longevity Podcast, where we give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, and live better. I'm Chris down here at Y.E.S Fitness, and thanks for tuning in. My guest that was lined up for today had to cancel at the last minute, so I'm going to kind of just run off the seat of my pants here a little bit. I don't have a huge podcast prepared, so what we're going to do is we're going to make this our Y.E.S Fitness Podcast Exercise Myths number 2. We had done a myths podcast way back, I think in episode number 1, and today we're going to do our second myth podcast. So as we go along here, if you have a myth or a question, post it right up on Facebook, and I'll certainly do my best to give you some insight on that. So here we go. The first myth that's out there is that you need to change your exercise routine often, maybe even as often as every time you go to the gym. And there are some very famous disc programs out there that tell you that to make the body get gains, and the basis of the program is exercise changing all the time, or muscle confusion. I did a strategy session last night with a client. The strategy session is when we bring someone on board and we find out about them and they find out about us to decide whether they want to join or not. And during that strategy session, the topic of muscle confusion came up. Don't you change your exercises often to keep the muscles guessing so they don't get bored with what you're doing? Well, the first thought is that no, we don't change our muscles, or our exercises often. The muscles don't have a brain. They can't think. So how are they going to get bored, or how are they going to get confused? Muscles are muscles. They don't have brains. So you can't really get something bored or confused if it doesn't have a brain. You could get bored or confused, but your muscles can't get bored or confused. And if you get bored, you're no longer going to make gains because you're not going to push yourself. And if you get confused, you're likely to hurt yourself. If you're doing exercises that are new to you all the time, you're not going to be able to perform them well, and you're not going to be able to perform them correctly, and you're more likely to hurt yourself, and you're not going to make the gains that you want to make. For your body to improve or get better, it needs to see a workout 3 to 6 times. You need to see those exercises 3 times before you can start thinking about changing them. If you change those exercises less than 3 times, how are you going to get better at it? And if you go past 6 or 7 times, you're going to start to get bored. You're going to know what's coming. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that again today. So you just kind of lollygag through. You don't really push yourself. So the repetition range, or I should say the workout range that we like to focus on, is we try to change the workouts every 3 to 6 workouts, depending upon your progress. Because you have a program that's written and designed specifically for you, and you get to 4 or 5 workouts and you're not making any more change, you're not lifting a little bit heavier, it's not hard enough for you, yeah, we definitely need to change it. If we get to 3 workouts and we don't see anything changing, then we know it's time to change, because you're going to start to get bored. So we don't want boredom to be determined just because we think the muscles are going to get confused. We want the boredom in your mind to make sure that doesn't happen, so you don't get bored while doing your workout. Statistics will show that when someone comes to the training facility and they know what they're going to do, they know what to expect, they have an idea what their workout is going to be, they're actually going to perform better. They're actually going to perform better because of that familiarity. Oh, I can't say it today. Because they're familiar with what they're going to do. If they come to the gym and they don't know what they're going to do, if it changes every single time, if they have to look up on the whiteboard to figure out what they're going to do, how are they going to be able to perform well? Because they have to think about it. They don't know what weights they need to use. They don't know what exercises come next. So that familiarity of 3 to 6 workouts is important for you to be a better. Why do you want to do a workout that you're never going to get better at? Why are you going to do exercises you're not going to get better at? Because you're not going to confuse the muscles. Muscles can't be confused. Do a workout that you can perform and get better at. So if you are doing a squat motion and you do a lousy squat on Monday, but then we don't squat again for 2 weeks because we got to change the exercises all the time, how are you ever going to get better at a squat? You need to learn to groove that pattern. You need to do it over and over again so you get better at it. Once you get better at it, we need to change what you do. The reason for change is for your body to adapt. Changing exercises is not the most efficient way to force your body to adapt. Changing repetition ranges is. So, for example, if I'm going to do a flat bench press, okay, and I decide, well, it's been a workout or two, I'm now going to change it to an incline bench press. So I'm going to change it up so my body doesn't get used to what I'm doing. So now I'm going to change it to a decline press. And now next workout, I'm going to change it to a dumbbell press. The next workout, I'm going to change it to an alternating dumbbell press. How are you ever going to know how much weight to use? Because you're changing all the time. And how is your body ever going to get better at it? Because it's changing all the time. So if you were to do that, you're never going to get better at those exercises. And your body's not going to change if you're always staying in a 10 repetition range. So I'm going to do 10 reps, but now I'm going to do it on a dumbbell press. And now next 10 reps, I'm going to do it on an alternating dumbbell press. And next workout, I'm going to do a bench press with 10 reps. Again, your body's not going to change or adapt. The best thing to change your body is to change repetition range. You'd be much better off if you were doing a dumbbell press for 3 to 6 workouts at, let's say, 12 repetitions, and you actually stayed with that dumbbell bench press for 3 to 6 workouts, but you made it heavier and only did 10 repetitions, did that for 3 to 6 workouts, and then you decided, you know what, I need to change again, so I'm going to continue to do my dumbbell bench press, except now I'm going to make it heavier and bring it down to 8 reps. That is going to force the body to get better and to change, rather than just randomly